I will quickly page through this, and if you can stop and pause the thing, you can read it on how to take this thing apart. That one didn't print right, so sorry you can't read that one. And that'll start the installation. I guess I'll quick page through this quick. That way, that's all. You should replace your head bolts, but you can mic them and see if they're within spec, and you can reuse them. I don't recommend it though. That was all of it. 2008 cylinder head removal to replace head gasket on a Honda Fit. 1.5 liter engine. I took the head cover off, intake I had to remove, disconnect the wiring harnesses. The front cover here has to come off. And I have the cam gear hanging here so I don't lose my links off the bottom of the crank. And all the head bolts are down in there. I took them out already. You have to break them loose a third at a time, third of a turn at a time, so you don't crack the heads. And here is the pattern when you want to break them loose. You have to disconnect all your coolant hoses. There's your upper and lower hose. There's your heater core hoses in the back. You disconnect all them, disconnect all the plugs. Alright, now the cylinder head off. You can see the gasket there. This one was leaking back here. It was an external leak, leaking antifreeze out. So I had to remove the head so I can put a new gasket on there. Let's give you a little bit of caption so you can see what it looks like when it's all tore apart. This is a special tool you get for these Hondas. Makes the job a lot easier to hold the crank. So you need to hold the crank when you go to break this cam gear loose. Take the tension off the chain. There's a mode view of the engine. See that bolt up there, that 6mm bolt?
That's holding the tensioner back to keep the chain loose so I could take the cam gear off. That crank bolt is extremely tight to break loose. If you don't have this tool from Blue Point or some other company, it's going to make it very difficult to break this bolt loose in that crank, because I had two breaker bars with extenders on it to break that sucker loose. My impact gun was not strong enough. There's the cylinder head laying over there, and some of the other parts. And there's the front cover you have to take off to get to the timing chain. There's a timing mark. There's the other timing mark. You can see that. I highlighted it. There's one there, and then there's 3 little marks there. It's just a single mark. Just for top dead center. And on the gear itself for the cam, it says it has an up. That has to be straight up, obviously, and there's 2 little lines that run across. That should be flush with the top of your head when you have everything in time.
I also recommend you getting one of these type scrapers for doing head jobs and stuff. They work great, and they don't score everything up, and you can get everything nice and clean. Using the cookies and sandpaper and stuff is not the greatest thing, because the grit gets into the cylinders and you get ruining your engine. So I highly recommend getting one of these tools. You'll use it all the time. I have this for over 10 years and done dozens of automobiles, head gaskets and intakes, water pumps, multiple things.